Hello loves, I'm Tara. Welcome to Yoga for Beginners. So today's practice is going to focus on the foundations of yoga, so it'll move at a slower pace. So if you're a total beginner, this practice is designed for you. If you have been practicing yoga already, you can always do this practice. It's always good to come back to the foundations. So yoga is not only a physical practice, we are working on the mind, body, and spirit. So we work on this mind-body connection by using our breath to work through our movements. So for today, we will work with the breath, but at least I'm going to have you focus on trying to keep the breath steady throughout the practice. If you guys want more videos that are tailored to beginners, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button below. I would really appreciate it. And I will be coming out with videos that are going over specific poses and the alignment, so it kind of breaks it down a little bit further, so you can stay tuned for that. Okay, so let's get onto our mat and we will get started with our practice. So we're going to start in easy pose Sukhasana, so a cross-legged sitting position. I'm sitting on a blanket. You can sit on the mat. If you feel like your legs are kind of like tight and lifted up here, then you could prop pillows or blocks under you so that the legs are relaxed. So hands on your legs, palms facing down. Go ahead and close your eyes and start to tune into your breath. Noticing how you're feeling today without any judgment. Bring your hands in prayer at heart center. So in yoga, we like to set an intention for our practice. So your intention is personal to you, and something uplifting, something bigger than yourself. Maybe you want to dedicate your practice to someone in your life that maybe needs a little extra love right now. Sealing in this intention. Bringing the hands down. If you're on a blanket, go ahead and move that to the side, and then you're going to meet me on your hands and knees on all fours. So in this position, your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. Your knees are hip width apart, and your knee is directly in line with your hip joint. Gently pull the abdomen up and in and keep the spine neutral. Moving into cat-cows. So for cat, we're going to arch our spine, look up. Cow. And cat, we're going to curve our spine up toward the sky. With the breath, inhale cow. Looking up, exhale cat, spine toward the sky. Inhale cow, exhale cat. Whatever motion feels good for you. Inhale cow, connecting breath with movement. Exhale cat. One more round like that. Inhale cow. Exhale cat. Inhale back to neutral. Exhale, press back to child's pose. Breathe here. So with your child's pose, there's a few options. So you're sitting back on your heels. Hands can reach forward and place the forehead on the mat, or you can bring the hands back. If your mobility is more limited, you can use your blanket and you can place your forehead on the blanket. See if that's more comfortable. If you don't have the mobility to be all the way back on your knees, you could place a blanket between here and then into your child's pose. So find what works for you. Yoga is about finding what works for you and what feels good for your body. So take a few deep breaths here. If you're in the arms forward variation, pulling those arms straight out. Come up to all fours. We're going to press back to our first downward dog. So you're going to tuck your toes, straighten out the knees, send the hips to the back of your mat. So you're in your downward dog. Make sure you're not locking out your elbows. They're straight, but they're not like hyper extended. If you can't bring your heels down and they're up this way, that's totally fine. What you're trying to work on is just pulling the hips back toward the back of the mat and keeping the upper back straight. So you're not overarching here, it's straight. Pull the F up and in a little bit. And start to walk out your dog. So you're going to bend one knee, straighten one knee, and work that heel toward the floor. Bend the other knee, straighten the other knee, work the other heel toward the floor, opening up through the calves, switching, and switching to the other side. One more each foot. Come back to stillness. Look forward and start to walk the feet up toward your hands. Once you're there, roll up to standing. Hands at heart center. So moving to our Tadasana. So you're going to have your hands down at your sides, palms facing forward. Your feet can be together or you could be hip width apart. This is an active pose, so we're pulling the abdomen up and in, dropping the tailbone down. Drop the shoulders down away from your ears. Tuck the chin slightly. You can close the eyes just to connect and ground yourself. Make sure all 10 toes are in contact with the floor. And come back, bringing the hands to heart center. So we're going to move through Sun Salutation A. So for the first round, we're going to go through it a little slower. And I'm not going to cue you with the breath, so you're going to just breathe steady on your own. So hands at heart center. We're going to reach overhead, looking up toward the sky. Relax down into a forward fold, Uttanasana. You're going to come up to flat back. So if you're all the way on the floor, you can come up onto your fingertips. If you don't have that mobility, you can come up to your knees. Relax down. Hold here. We're going to step back to a plank pose. So step back. Drop the knees. You're going to lower down to the floor, so lower your chest, chin, and then come up into a low cobra. So with your low cobra, you're using the muscles of your back to lift. You're not pressing really much into the hands, so it's working your back muscles. Chin slightly tucked, legs zipped together. You're going to press up to all fours, tuck your toes, and bring the hips back to your downward dog. Hold here, still breathing steady. Looking forward, walk the feet forward toward your hands, coming up to whatever version of your flat back. Folding forward, Arms reach up toward the sky, looking up, and bringing your hands back to heart center. So that's our sun salutation A. Let's work through it with connecting the breath with movement. So you're going to inhale, arms reach overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up to flat back. Exhale, step back plank. Drop the knees, lower to the mat. Inhale to low cobra. Exhale, press back, downward dog. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Work those hips toward the back of the mat. Inhale, exhale. On your next inhale, bend the knees, walk forward, come up to flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Exhale, come back to Tadasana. Breathe here. Settle in. We're going to move into our standing pose series. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back to downward dog. Breathe here. We're going to bring the right foot forward between your hands. Drop the back heel down and come up to warrior one. Hold here and breathe. So in warrior one, you're not lifted on the toes. The back heel is down and your foot's at a 45-degree angle. Make sure the front knee is in line with your front ankle. Continue to breathe. Bring the hands to heart center. Inhale, straighten the front knee. Exhale, open into warrior two. Breathe. So warrior two, hips are opening toward the side of the mat. Keeping the knee coming out to the sides, not falling in. Hands reaching out toward the sides, looking over the front hand. On your next exhale, straighten the knee. Inhale. Exhale, reach forward for triangle pose. Breathe here. So there's a few variations of triangle pose. So first stage is your hand is on your shin. Top arm reaches up toward the sky. Look up toward the top arm. Envision that you're between two panes of glass. If you have the mobility, you can reach down toward the floor. As long as you still stay between those two panes of glass, you don't start letting the hips come out. We're here. If you do have a yoga block, you could put a yoga block there for your hand, or you could stay with this variation. Coming up, bringing your hands to border your foot and step back to downward dog. Bring the left foot forward, come up, warrior one on the other side. Breathe. Back heel is working toward the mat. Hips are pointing forward toward the front of your mat. Pull the belly in, drop the tailbone down. Reach the hands toward the sky. Bring the hands to the heart center. Inhale, straighten your left knee. Exhale, open warrior two. Breathe. Hips open toward the side of your mat. Arms reaching out. Shoulders down, away from your ears. If that's too much, you can always be in a narrower stance. Just don't go as deep so that the knee stays in line with your ankle. Inhale, straighten the left knee. Exhale to triangle pose. Breathe steady. Starting with the hand on the shin, working between the two panes of glass. If you have the mobility, go ahead and lower down to the floor. Hold here. Pulling the abs in and turning up toward the ceiling. Go ahead and lower the hands down. Turn your back foot and step back to downward dog. And take a few breaths here. If you need a rest at any time, go ahead and either come back to down dog or you could take a child's pose. Strongly pressing the hands into the mat in your down dog. On your next exhale, bring the right foot forward. Inhale, lift the arms into crescent lunge. Breathe here. Your back heel is up and you're on the toes of the back foot. Hips are pointing forward. Feeling opening through the back front leg. Exhale, lower the hands down and drop your knee. Inhale, lift the arms up, low lunge on Janusirasana. Breathe here. If this bothers your knee, you can place your blanket underneath your knee or just fold up your mat a little bit so there's a little more cushion. It's a deep hip opener. So pull the abs up and in. Reach toward the sky. Exhale the breath. Bring both hands to the inside of your foot and breathe. You could bring that foot out a little bit to make more space. We're moving into lizard pose. So whatever's comfortable, start to walk that foot out a little bit. And you're up on the hands. If this is too much, again, you can have a block just to lift your hands up a little higher. To move to the next stage, if you're ready, so you could either stay here. If you feel like you have more mobility, go ahead and lower down onto your elbows. Still keeping the back flat, you're not arching down this way. Chin tucked, looking forward. If you're on the elbows, press up onto the hands. Start to walk that foot back into alignment. Border the hands on the foot. Tuck the back toes and step back to downward dog. Take a nice inhale, exhale, inhale. On your next exhale, bringing the left foot forward, inhale up, crescent lunge, high lunge, breathe. Keeping that back knee straight. Looking forward. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. On your next exhale, drop the hands down, drop the back knee. Inhale, come up, low lunge. Breathe. So this is really opening through the front left hip, front right hip, sorry, I'm on the wrong side. Hands are reaching up. So the more you reach up, the more you'll open through your hip flexor. On your next exhale, drop the hands to the inner part of the left foot. Breathe. Start to walk that foot out a little bit, the left foot out to the outer edge of your mat. Lizard pose. If you want to deepen the pose, drop to your elbows. Deep breathing. This is a deep hip opener on the left side. So feel free to stay up on the hands. If you're on the elbows, come up onto the hands. Border the foot with your hands. Tuck the back toes. Send that leg back to down dog. Breathe here. Go ahead and drop the knees to the floor. And come forward to lay on your stomach. Low cobra. Zip the legs together. Lift the upper body. Tuck the shoulders down and back. Breathe. Tuck the chin slightly. Using the back muscles. Minimal weight in your hands. Relax down. You could put your hands in front, turn one cheek to one side. Feeling the energy flowing through the body. We're moving into locust pose. So you're going to clasp your hands behind your back. Feel free to stay with cobra if you need. Press the arms straight back. Lift the upper body. Lift the legs. Look down at the floor, chin tucked. Keep the legs together. Continue to breathe steady. And lower down. You can bring your other cheek to relax down for a second. Again, feel free to stay with low cobra. So let's all move into low cobra first. If you want to increase your mobility and you feel like you have the mobility, go ahead and start to press up into high cobra. So maybe you're here, whatever feels good. If it feels good, you can look up gently. And if you would like more, you can move to up dog. So you're going to be on the tops of your feet and your legs lift up, looking up. And let's all press back, down dog. Drop the knees, relax your feet. Sit back into a wide-legged child's pose. So your feet are together, knees are separated for the outer edges of your mat, and you lean forward from here. Deep breaths. Feeling yourself grounding with the earth. Start to walk the hands up. Bring the knees together, cross your feet, and sit back down. Moving into Janusirasana. So you're going to straighten your right leg out. I'll turn so you can see me better. Your left leg is going to be bent in this way. If you need, go ahead and use your blanket to prop up. So even if you can't bring the foot all the way in and you're here, that's fine. Just do what works for you. Yoga is a personal practice. It's what works for your body. So starting by placing the hands to the sides of your leg, sit up nice and tall, turn over that right leg. First, breathe here. Next, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, start to fold forward over your front leg. And breathe. So you may be just here, or you may reach the foot. Wherever you are, try not to be arching this way. Whatever you can do by keeping that back long. Deep breaths. You should feel a stretch through the right hamstring. Start to walk the hands up and switch sides. Straighten out your left leg. Bend your right knee in. Wherever you are, again, maybe the foot's further down and you're propped up on a blanket. Perfectly fine. If you're a little more open, bring that foot all the way in. Hands to the sides of your left knee. Turn over your left leg. Straighten up toward the sky. Breathe. Keep turning over the left leg. Inhale, reach up toward the sky. Exhale to your forward fold. Deep breathing here on your own. Opening through the left hamstring. So in this pose, we want to make sure that we don't start opening out this way. We're continuing to turn toward the leg that's straight. Start to walk the hands up. Bring the feet together for bound angle pose. Tadasana. So your feet are together, it's like a butterfly. So open the feet like a book. Again, use your props if you need. Propping up under the knees on both sides. If you're not as mobile here, it's totally okay. Hold on to the feet. Straighten the back up. Sitting tall. Breathe here. Feel free to stay here. If you'd like more of a stretch, then you could start to reach forward. Again, keeping the back flat as we reach. Whatever feels good for you. As you hold, you might feel to go a little deeper. Always close the eyes, turn inward during these forward folds. Start to walk your way back up. Use your hands to lift the knees. Come into a cross-legged position. Hold on to the front leg, and we're just going to do a few seated cat-cows. So you're going to just arch the back, look up, and then sit back, looking up, sitting back, look up, come back to neutral. We're going to lay on our backs. Moving into bridge pose. So your feet are underneath your knees, hands straight out. If your hands can touch the back of your ankles, go ahead and do that. If not, totally fine. So we're going to start to peel our hips up off the mat, lifting into our bridge, one vertebrae at a time. Hold here, breathe. And slowly lower back down. On the next one, we're going to lift while reaching our arms overhead. So slowly peel the spine up, reach the arms overhead, and lower back down. We'll try two with the breath. Inhale, lift, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift, arms reach overhead. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift again, arms reach overhead. Exhale, hold, but bring the hands back down. Breathe. Stay here or clasp the hands together under you and try to lift up onto your shoulders. Make sure your knees are not splaying out. They're not falling in. They're in straight alignment. Unclasp the hands, lower back down to the mat. Just let the knees windshield wiper side to side. Bring the hands out to the side like a T shape and drop both knees to the right. Look over your left shoulder. Keep your left shoulder in contact with the mat. So even if the legs don't go as far, that's okay. Use the abdomen to pull the legs back in and let the knees fall to the left. Look over your right shoulder. Right shoulder in contact with the mat. Use the abs to pull the legs back in. Coming into a modified happy baby. You're going to bring your knees in toward your chest. Use your hands to hold the front of the ankles. And then let the knees fall out to the sides. Deep breathing. Opening through the hips. Relaxing down before we come into our final relaxation pose. And relax the feet down. Straighten the legs out for Savasana. Tuck the shoulders underneath you. Hands rest up. Feet can relax out to the sides. So it's really important to take Savasana. Maybe, especially if you're a beginner, maybe you think, oh, I'll just skip this, but it's very important to seal in our practice. I know sometimes it's hard to lay in stillness, but it gets easier with practice. It takes practice to let the mind relax. So here we'll just do a body scan. Tune into the feet and the ankles. Inhale into the feet and the ankles. Exhale, relax here. Inhale to the calves, the knees. As you exhale, let the calves and the knees relax. Inhale to the thighs, the pelvis. Exhale, let the thighs and the pelvis relax. Inhale into the lower abdomen, the low back. Exhale, relax here. Inhale into the upper abdomen, the ribs, the upper back. Exhale, relax here. Inhale into the chest, heart center. Exhale, relax here. Inhale into the shoulders, the upper arms. Exhale, relax here. Inhale into the elbows, lower arms, hands, fingers. Exhale, relax. Inhale into the neck. Exhale, relax. Inhale into the base of the head and top of the head. Exhale, relax. And lastly, inhale to the muscles of the face. Exhale, relax. Relax the eyes, jaw. Continue steady breathing on your own. Feeling this deep relaxation. Start to deepen your breathing, bringing awareness back to your body. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Reach the arms overhead. Point the toes. Bend your knees. Turn to your right side, keeping the right arm straight out like a pillow. Keep your eyes closed. Use the left hand to press up. Walking up to a sitting position. Still turned inward. Eyes closed down. Bring your hands at heart center. Bring your mind back to the intention that you set at the beginning of practice. Seal that intention in now. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for today's beginner yoga practice. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day.